Good morning, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm a sculptor and an artist, and today I'm going to take this seashell and turn it into a fairy house, and I'm going to show you and explain to you how to do it. We're going to be working with the seashell here, then we're also going to be working with polymer clay. This is Sculpt 3. I highly recommend it. It's a good product. It's fairly easy to work with, and you can bake it in your home household oven, and it will become very hard and durable and probably last a very long time. Okay, Sculpt 3, and I'll put that on the tool and supply list here on the video. Okay, so the one thing that we want to do with polymer clay is we want to knead it a little bit. They call it conditioning. The idea basically is there's all kinds of ingredients in there that are important, and we want to mix them up really good. I usually mix it or knead it like this for just a few minutes until it's very pliable and warm to the touch and similar to the warmth in my hand. Okay. So we got that. Now I'm going to just take a piece here, and I'm going to start by rolling a ball. Now when I roll a ball of clay between my hands like this, it takes out a lot of the imperfections, like little fissures and cracks and that sort of thing that would be in the clay when I first start working with it. So applying just a little bit of pressure like this, you can see the ball is very smooth now. Okay, and that's a good place to start. And we'll set it down here on the table and just pressing down on it a little bit. It gives it a flat bottom. So that's the bottom of the base of the house. Now let's just pause this for a minute and come over back to the shell. And the shell it's kind of porous. It can be porous, and if it's porous, the polymer clay won't really stick to it very well, and it'll make it difficult to sculpt. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this product here. It's called Golden Medium's GAC 100 multi-purpose acrylic polymer, and basically all it really is, the purpose of it here is to seal the shell so that it's not so porous and the polymer clay will stick to it. So we just take the cap off here, pour a little tiny bit, doesn't require much. Okay, just a little tiny bit. This goes a long ways. Take a paintbrush and brush it over it. It will give it a light sheen, and you want to work it into all the detail of the shell, just so that there's a consistent appearance to the shell. Go ahead and do as much, do the whole shell. That way, because you don't want a sheen in one place and no sheen in another, so that's why I say that. And so just work it into all the detail, and you only need to do one coat. It dries very quickly, and then I want you to take your brush right away and put it in some water and clean it, because if you don't, the acrylic will dry in the brush, become very hard, and you won't be able to use the brush again. So that's why we do that. There we go. Okay, now I was just lightly brushing it there as an for example. So it actually is ready to work with for me. For you, it might take about 10 minutes before you can work with it. Now what I'm going to do is I want this to be this foundation for the house. I want it to be a little bit taller, so I'm just going to squeeze it and form it to do that. And then I'm going to take this here and position it over the foundation, and press it down onto the foundation, which is there like that. You can see it all the way around there. Now this is the doorway here. Now you could just leave that open so it's more inviting if you like, or you can close it. And I'm going to show you how to close it. I'm going to take a ball of clay about the size of the door there and push it in, and then flatten it. You can flatten it with your thumb, and that will become the baseline for the door itself. And for something this small, I don't do a lot of detail. It depends. I mean, sometimes I want to take the time to do that. But for this door, what we're going to do is we want to create. So it's in my mind, it's a wood door, so it's going to have planks going across, and you can take a. This is a wood sculpting tool. I only have two, by the way. Here they are. I've been carrying these around for many years. You can get these at an art supply store. Even these same shapes are very common. And I like these tools a lot. I use them a lot. So you'll see me in my videos with my little sculpting tools that I've been carrying around for a very long time. Here we go. So now I'm just going to take the sharper tool. This one tends to be a little bit sharper. And I'm just going to sculpt or carve a little line, which is to define the planks in the door. Okay, just make sure you can see that okay. See? And for me, I like to have them about the same size. There we go. I kind of messed that one up, but that's alright. There we go. So that's the door there, and then what you can do is you can take a very small ball of clay and you drop it on here, like right on the door here. Just drop it on it, and from there you can move it around to where you want it and press it into place. And see, that's the little doorknob there to open the door. And if you want the shell going straight up, you can just make it that way. This is basically, I'm showing you how to do this as a baseline for you to jump off from and start doing your own creations. But sometimes it's just helpful to get ideas and see how things are done. Now we're going to keep going here. We're not done. I'm going to just knead this clay a little bit, make sure it's good and conditioned. Okay, now I want to make some stairs for the fairy house, and that will add a lot of interest. So you just roll a ball. We start with a little ball. We always mostly start with a little ball, and then you can squeeze it to make it the thickness that you want, and then put it in place in front of the door. Press down to kind of sculpt it to join the door there, and you can use a little tool like this to get it in there tight, like that. we go. And then you can roll another ball for the next stair. And you can come straight down if you want, but what I like to do is, since we've got a spiral thing going on with the Seashell, is I like to keep that going a little bit, so start working on a little bit of a spiral staircase or a sweeping staircase. So I just set that, kind of bring it to the left of that other stair there, like that. And then we'll get another piece of clay. Whenever you pull clay and you haven't kneaded it, make sure you knead it a little bit. It's pretty important, actually. You see, these stairs are actually easy to do. A lot of people see stairs and they say, how do they do that? But it's really not hard, especially with polymer clay. This stuff is wonderful, I'll tell you what. There we go. Just coming around, we kind of got this little spiral thing going on. We need a few more, and you can move it around, and you know, just it's really nice to work with polymer clay. It's really a nice product. And then the other thing is, after you bake it, it'll last a really long time. So it's really a nice, you know, nice product. Well, it's very popular. A lot of people like working with it, and I do too. I sure do. Okay. And get another piece on there. It's gonna be, we're almost to the bottom here. Right there. I think we've got maybe one more to do. And we can straighten it all up at that point once we get to there. And I'll show you some things, some tricks that you can do to make it look uniform and everything. So we got that there. You just move it around like that and get it you know, seated in there, so it's just basically a staircase there. And the other thing that you can do, I just forewarn you, if you do this, you're going to probably spend a lot of time trying to smooth the clay, but you can afterwards. But you can carve or blend with the tool by drawing clay down from one stair to another, like that. But if you mar up the stairs a lot with the tool, you might feel like you have to come back and do some smoothing, and it may take a while. That's all I would say. You can smooth polymer clay with alcohol and a paintbrush. Actually, sometimes I use baby powder and my finger. And I tried that and been doing that a little bit lately. Sometimes that helps. So that basically sculpts it in. Now what I'm going to do is I want to create a little railing to give it more of a finished appearance. So I'm going to roll the ball, our starting point, and then I'm going to roll a noodle by rolling my hands to and fro like this. See? I want it to be long enough to be on the edge of the entire staircase, so I'm going to check it before I go much further here. I'd like to put it like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll bring that down and just form it into place. Maybe curve this out a little bit here, just so it looks more, I don't know, formed, a nice form and nice and flowing. And then you can come up from here and you can blend it into the stairs. Like that. And then so that it's uniform, you can just look at it from every angle and just press or smooth to get it to look, you know, flowing at all angles. That's what I recommend doing, and you can do that also at the end of the piece when you're finishing it up. And I'm going to roll another ball, a noodle, because I want one on the other side. Like that. So then it's, you know, it's a sweeping, I think that term is sweeping. It's not a spiral staircase, but it's going in that direction. So, like that. Take a sculpting tool. This is a nice end. I use it a lot for blending and that sort of thing. So I'll blend the railing into the house foundation. Like that. Okay. Getting it there. And now just smoothing. You can also sculpt it down onto the stairs. You can sculpt it up against the shell in the back here where it joins next to the door. There we go. Now, a lot of people know, if you've seen some of my videos, that I use the black polymer clay. I'm going to show you how to do my finishes. But if you wanted something that was more lighter value, like for example, if you want to work with white clay or colored clay, the Sculpt 3 brand comes in a whole bunch of colors, so you could do that. And there's other finishes you could do. There's finishes like using powdered pastels, powdering the pastel, chalk pastel, and you can, you know, use it as a powder form and color the clay. There's a lot of things that you can do. I recommend just looking online, looking at my videos, maybe subscribing to my channel would be a good idea, to watch out for videos, because I'm constantly like trying to improve that. And the finishing is, you know, it's really important to be able to do like really awesome finishes. I think it's really important because finishing is a very big part of sculpture. So that's why I say So just keep an eye out, look at other videos, look at other channels, see what's out there. It's a good idea. How to finish polymer clay. You could do searches like that here on YouTube. And there we go. So normally I might spend a little bit more time sculpting it and smoothing it, but I hope I covered at least how to smooth it. Just a couple things. You can use your fingers like this. You can use, if you use a tool, maybe a metal tool would be better than, and sometimes wood is fine too. And again, you can use talcum powder, or just don't like pour it all over it, but if you get some on your fingers or the tools that you're working with, it just stops some of the resistance that would be there if you were doing it with your bare finger with no talcum powder or no baby powder. So that's why I say the baby powder just takes away some of the resistance of drawing something over the clay, and it really does help to get it smooth. And just take your time and go around and smooth it. It's worth it in the end, believe me. And then I want to show you how to do the finishes. So the product that I use the most, and there's always different products. I use certain things because they work for me and I like them, and that's what I do. And so of course, if something works for me, I'm going to tell you, and so that's why I say this product that I use is Pearl X powdered pigments. Okay, and it's a powder, and it's usually, the ones I've seen so far from Pearl X are kind of metallic. And I only use a few colors. I don't have like enormous amount of that. But what I do use, I'm going to show you here. I use this gold here. You'll often hear me refer to it as bronze because I just got into a habit of calling it that. I think it probably does have bronze in it, but I do refer to it as bronze usually out of habit. This is Reflex Violet, and I like it a lot. And this is silver, and it looks to me like pewter when it's applied a certain way, which I'm going to show you how to do. And those are the main colors I use. Now, if you can, it would be better to apply this with a finger. It just looks better. Okay, and I'm going for an antique look, very aged, ancient, old. I'm not looking to make this all golden, but you could do that if you wanted to. It would be probably better to do that with a brush. So I put some, I get some on my finger, just dab my finger into it like that. It's a powder, and then I swirl it once or twice with my thumb, and then I just draw it down on the railing. We'll just call it the railing there. Like that. And then maybe on the other side, of course, we want to be consistent. Go around and do the base or the foundation of the house. You can get up underneath as well. You just draw that down underneath. Okay. Now we can make it a little bit more pretty by taking a brush here. You get a brush. In between colors, you can just wipe it on a rag. I keep a rag basically strapped to my leg, when I'm working. I'm not going to take it off right now. There's really no point. But I wanted to tell you that. That's what I do. And I just wipe it on the rag real quick. Off camera. Now, I'm going to take the purple here, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a brush. Now, it's a little bit different. Make sure the brush is fairly dry, by the way. It'll be a lot easier. Okay, now, you can dip it into the purple. We can tap it a little bit to get it off on the edge of the cap here. You can tap it to get some of the excess off. You also should dab it on some kind of surface. It could be a paper towel or something like that, or just the table. It wipes up pretty easily. And then just you know, depending on how heavy you want it, you can you know, use it on the stairs here. And I also like to put it on the doors. I don't know if you know much about colors matching. You probably do. You know, green and purple go really well together. The shell is green, so doing the door in purple is a good idea. And purple and gold go really well together too. And I'm going to take a little of my pewter or silver right here. Dip it in there, tap it on the side a little bit, put it on the table and just dab it off, just so you don't have it flinging all over the place. And then I'm just going to do the doorknob and that. There we go. I'm going to clean off my brush, and now I'm just going to go around and touch up what I couldn't get with my finger using the gold. And there you go. Just like that. You can add a little bit of interest also. Take a little bit of the gold and just put you know, little dabs of it on the stairs. Now when you cook this, it's kind of embedded into the clay. You could seal it if you wanted to. If you want to put the sculpture outdoors or something, you could seal it. And you could seal it actually with acrylic like this. The main thing that you want to do is you don't want to put solvents on the polymer clay. Things that have alcohol and that sort of thing in it. If you do that, it will make the clay really sticky and icky. I've done it myself. I've used spray paint. You don't want to use spray paint on this type of thing here with polymer clay. It creates problems. It will become sticky and icky. So that's basically that. I'm going to get this out of the way now. Just clean up a little bit here. Now we're going to talk about cooking and cooking times and things of that nature. There we go. And just see that cleans right up with my hands. Okay, so I'll just set it down here. So you want to cook it, and you're going to bake it in your household oven. Okay. Preheat the oven to 275 degrees. And then bake it on like a ceramic plate that doesn't have any texture on it. You know, just a smooth, shiny ceramic plate would be good. Just set it on there, and then bake it. Now the baking times. This is for Sculpt 3. This is not for all brands. This is for Sculpt 3. This is Sculpt 3. It's 15 minutes per quarter inch of clay mass. So if the thickest part on this sculpture right here is probably right here, if that is an inch from there to there, which I think it's more than an inch, but if it's an inch, you would bake it for an hour. 15 minutes per quarter inch of mass. Okay? And that's basically it. That is how you make a fairy seashell house. I hope that you use this as a baseline for a jumping off point to get into creating your own ideas and that sort of thing. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of videos like this, a lot of fairy related, that sort of thing. And then also if you could rate the video, like or dislike, leave a comment, tell me about how you feel about it, or ask me any questions and I'll reply. And thank you very much. Thank you for watching.